What is up, everyone? My name is Andrea, and if you have not subscribed, you should, because, like, why not? But anyway, today I'm going to be doing the Bookish Tag. I saw my friend Tish over at Little Wolf do this tag, and I thought it was really cool, and I was like found myself answering the question, so I was like, yeah, I want to do this tag. I will link her video down below since she's the first person that I saw do this, and I will link the original creator if I can find them, but I'm not sure who it is. This is my dog Ollie. He is very fluff right now. And he also is just being like a brat today. He got out of the backyard. We had to go find him. He came running back and then he took a nap. Like, really? I don't know how long he's gonna be in this video. He just like wants me to hold him right now, so he's gonna be here for now. Okay. The first question is, how many books do you currently own? I counted, like hand counted all the books on my shelves, and then I have 2 books that I'm lending out to friends, so I counted everything I own, and I own a total of 342 books, and that sounds insane. Like, I thought it would be like 1 to 200, but 342, that is a lot, and I can't believe it, and I have not read all of them, and that just makes me want to finish like reading my TBR before I buy any more books, because I feel like that is insane. The fact that they are all in my room, like I have 300 plus books in my room, I mean, that is really just a lot, and I need to go through and do an unhaul, but that is just so many books, I just can't even. Question 2 is, how many books are you currently reading? I am currently reading 1 book. I'm reading City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. It's book 2 in the Mortal Instruments series. I am rereading this. I've read it like once or twice before already, but me and my friends Lisa and Therese decided to go ahead and reread the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles series in the months leading up to Chain of Iron next year. So we're on book 2. Well, this month we have to read book 1 and book 2, so I'm already reading this one to get it over with, and I'm kind of actually enjoying it. I like this one a lot more than City of Bones, which is kind of weird because I used to love them all the same, but now I'm actually being like a critical reader, and I'm finding flaws that I didn't see before, you know, a couple years ago when I was just a younger teenage Andrea and just loved the angst and all that. But now I'm actually reading more critically, and I'm seeing why some people had problems with this series, and I feel bad that I never saw these things before, but here we are. But yeah, I'm only reading 1 book right now. I like to read just 1 book at a time because I can get through it faster, and then I can just get more books off my like TBR, I guess. It probably doesn't make sense. Like, if you read more than 1 book, it's kind of the same. Like, you're still getting through them as if you were gonna read them one after the other. I don't know, but in my brain it makes sense, and so I'm just reading 1 right now. It's this one. Okay, you get that. Okay. Question 3 is, choose a couple books you read but didn't enjoy, and this was actually not that hard for me. So the first book that I didn't really enjoy is Mortal Engines by Phillip Reeve. I gave this book 3 stars only because I feel like I'm maybe not the target audience, and it came out a while ago. So I felt like maybe I couldn't judge this book as well as some other people could who like would actually pick this up because they wanted to read it. I mean, I saw the preview for the movie, and I really wanted to read it. It sounded really interesting. It looked really interesting. But when I read it, I was just kind of let down by the writing style. It was very boring, and like I don't know. It wasn't even like telling me a story and like letting me live the story. Okay, it was letting me. I was just reading a story. I wasn't in the story, is like how I would put it. So it wasn't really enticing, so I didn't like it. Next is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. I have a review on this, and it actually got a lot of views because I think I was one of the first people to review it. But this is the sequel to Carry On, and a lot of people had problems with it. It was very controversial on what exactly the feelings that this book brought, because it was very different than Carry On. Like, the feels were just so vastly different. It was really like abrupt, very weird, and so I didn't enjoy it when I first read it. I really didn't. Like, there were all the funny moments and the humor that I liked, but then the overall story, I was like, bro, like, I'm dead ass not having a good time. Like, where is like what I expected? now I want to reread it, and I see like things that I can appreciate more, and I understand where Rainbow Rowell was like trying to go with this, and like the way that she wants to take her characters, and that's fine because it's her book, it's her story, it's her characters, it's her world. Like, she can do whatever she wants, and like some people don't realize that about authors. Like, it's their mind. Like, it's their creation, so you have to let people create how they want to create. And I see that now, whenever, like, whatever, and I can appreciate it more now, but when I read it at the time, I wasn't enjoying it. Lastly, I read The Guinevere Deception, and I did not enjoy this one either. I gave it 4 stars because, like, it was a good story, it was written well, but the actual, like, plot and everything was so boring. Like, this book was so boring, and I don't know why I didn't want to give it less than 4 stars. I think it's just because the general, like, makeup of this book was good, but the story was boring. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, though. That's all you need to know. Question 4 is a cover by, and for this one, it would have to be Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I don't have this book anymore because I did not like it. Like, I hated this book. So I sold it on Depop. But I'll put a picture of the cover here. But it was just a boring book. Like, when I see people give it 5 stars, I'm like, how? Like, how? I just don't get it. I don't know. And I would never reread that book because I was so bored. It felt like I had walked into a time vortex where everything was like slow motion, and it felt like I would never get out of that world. I felt like I would never get out of finishing that book. And I just have the like very bad memories connected to that book. And it was all due to me reading the book and due to the contents of the book. And I only bought it for the cover because it was gorgeous. The cover is so pretty. I'm so sad that I sold it, but also, like, I didn't have any enjoyment when I looked at it. So I was like, no, it can go. Like, it can go. I'm never going to read it again. But the cover is gorgeous. Okay. Question 5 is a book you own but hate the cover of. And for this, I'm going to go with Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 3rd book in the Grisha trilogy. I have read all of these, and I hate this cover solely because I own the first 2 books in the original covers, which look way more like gritty and like Grisha-y, I think, than these that are like fun, bright colors and like have the Firebird on it or whatever. And just like the original covers were good. Like, I liked them. I don't know, I think they were trying to target like a younger audience with these. If you like these, like, don't think I'm like talking mess about you. I mean, I get it, like, they're really pretty, like, you can see, like, yeah, they're aesthetically pleasing, but the fact that I own the other 2 in the original, and they don't sell the original 3rd one anymore, makes me angry when I look at this one, because I want the original one of the 3rd one so bad. If anybody wants to sell me theirs, please let me know. I will buy it from you, because I want my set to match, and it doesn't. Question 6 is a book you haven't read in years, and for this, I'm going with Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I read this book a few years ago. I remember writing like a whole like review in like my Word documents because I didn't know what Goodreads was, and like a lot of like spilling my feelings on this book. But I just think this book is so good. Like, I know you've probably seen the movie. It's about this girl who becomes a caretaker for a paraplegic man, and they basically fall in love, but like there's such an emotional heartbreak attached to this story, and so much like dealing with trauma and dealing with feelings and dealing with people, or dealing with this guy who has this disability that he's not 100% okay with, and it's just like a roller coaster of emotions. Like, the ending hurts, but I haven't read this book in years, and I would like to reread it. I tried to reread it last year, I think, but I DNF'd like 2 pages in because I was like, no, this book takes like a certain like time, and like I have to read it at a certain time in my life when I'm like ready to read it and ready to like bawl my eyes out, and I just wasn't. But I would love to go back and reread this book again. I'm sure I will many times in my life because it's just a story that I love and hold dear to my heart, and yeah. Question 7 is a book you will always recommend, and for that I'm going with A Very Large Expansive Sea by Tahira Mafi. This book is so good. I feel like I've talked about it a lot on my channel, but that's pretty much because I want people to read it and I want people to know this story. It is the story of a girl who is Muslim, and she gets a lot of crap for it because it is a year after 9/11. And she's in high school, and people are rude, and people are just obnoxious and stupid. And she meets this guy named Ocean, who is pretty much the only person who begins to stick up for her and be there for her, and it's just beautiful. Like, her writing style, like Tahira Mafi's writing style is gorgeous. Like, this cover is also gorgeous. If you haven't read this, definitely pick it up. I will recommend this to anybody. It is a great contemporary. It's one of the only contemporaries that I will read over and over because I don't like contemporaries. So it says a lot that this contemporary has got me to fall in love with it. So definitely I would read this book if you were in the mood for a moving, heartfelt contemporary. I couldn't remember the word. Question 8 is all-time favorite book series, and I know that I shouldn't, but I'm just gonna, and I'm just gonna say it. Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. How can you not? If you are a Potterhead, I feel like you automatically just have to put Harry Potter at the top, and I am one of those people because I just feel like I owe a lot to these books, and I'm like indebted to the Harry Potter series, and I just find so many things in this book, in this world, that I love and cherish, and it's just like a weird, like, deep connection that I have. And so I always, no matter what else I read, I will say that Harry Potter is my favorite series because it is just amazing. And if I was gonna exclude this one and could just ignore this one because it's like a duh, like, who wouldn't pick Harry Potter? I'd probably pick like The Dark Artifices by Cassandra Clare, or the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, or Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Those are all like some of my favorite series too, but I do think that this one does come above all of those. Like, if I was like, my room like caught on fire and I had to only take one series with me, I would grab my Harry Potter books and like everything I could of my Harry Potter memorabilia because I just have that attachment, and it's unnecessary and it's very like over the top, but it's there and I can't like ignore it. So Harry Potter. Question 9 is, where do you read? I read everywhere and anywhere. Like, I am the type of person who has a book on me at all times. Like, even if I'm just leaving my house to go to the grocery store or something, I take my book. If I'm going to my friend's house, I take my book and I take it inside with me. If I'm going to a football game, I make sure my purse is big enough to hold like one paperback and I take it with me because I just feel comfort with a book on me, like, at all times. And I don't know if that's normal. I bet it is for some of you other readers out there, but I genuinely just feel like I am not okay without a book. And is that like some sort of like thing I need to like address? Do I need to figure out why I feel like I'm not okay without a book? Maybe, but like, it's fine. I just feel safer. I just feel comforted when I have a book, so I will read anywhere. If I am at a friend's house and they're like on their phones and we're not doing anything, then I will pull out my book and I will read, because like, it's the same thing as being on your phone. Like, you're not doing anything, you're not talking to people around you, so let me just pull out my book and read. And I do. So everywhere, anytime, any place. Okay, so question 10 is, what are the last 2 books you gave a 5-star rating and why? The last 2 books I gave 5 stars were actually rereads, so I'm not going to count them. They were The Hunger Games and Crooked Kingdom, so just if you wanted to know, but I'm not going to count them. So I'm going to go with, I had to go and look on Goodreads for this because I didn't remember, but the first one is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it is the conclusion wrap-up of the series, and I give it 5 stars because I thought it was very good for a final book in a series. I thought it addressed everything, and it was very action-packed the whole entire book, and it kept me on my toes, it kept me wanting to read, and I really like got to know more of the characters, and I fell in love with them, and it's just a really good book. Also, the very last line of this book was exactly what I wanted from this series that is all about fairy tale retellings, and I just, because of that last line, I was like, I have to give it 5 stars. And if you've read this and you know what the last line is, I'm probably the only one who's like gave it a 5 star because of that, but I just thought it was such a beautiful ending, and it was everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. That's why I gave it 5 stars. The final book that I gave 5 stars to was Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is her adult fantasy. I am sure you've heard of it by now on BookTube, on Book Twitter, everywhere. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about it, but here's my spill on it. I actually did a full review if you want to go and watch that. I filmed it right after I had read this book, and so my thoughts were very like in your face heavy, because that's just how I am after I finish a book that I really like. I just feel like I have all these thoughts and I need to like let them out. I should probably wait a little bit because I have changed some of my thoughts on it, but it's too late now. It's already up. But anyway, I gave this book 5 stars because I think that Sarah J. Maas has a way of writing. Like, her characters are phenomenal, and her storylines are just very interesting. Like, this book keeps you wanting to read. The characters are ones that you can easily like, and they're funny, and it's just a good read. Personally, I loved the main character, Bryce Quinlan. I thought that the way that Sarah J. Maas writes about her dealing with her trauma, dealing with depression, was really just something that I like to see, and something that was kind of relatable. And I also liked the main character, Hunt Athalar. I thought he was really funny, and I thought his very masculine side compared to Bryce's very feminine and girly side was a very cool, like, what am I trying to say? A very cool dynamic. My god, I can't just remember one word. It was a very cool dynamic. It was very funny, humorous dynamic, and I'm a sucker for Sarah J. Maas. I am a sucker for her characters and her love stories, and I just love this book so much. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's why I gave it 5 stars. It was just so good, and I loved it so much. So that wraps up the Bookish Tag. Yeah, that's what it's called, the Bookish Tag. I am going to tag my friend Armin, I'm going to tag my friend Lisa, and I'm going to tag my friend Therese, and I'm also going to tag anyone else who wants to do this tag. I will leave those 3 that I named in the description down below, and also if you want to do it, like I said, do it. I'm tagging you. Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know, like, your answers to these questions. But that's pretty much all I have to say. So I hope you guys are staying safe right now. Quarantine, it's like we're in the middle of the month finally, but also this month is going by really fast, I feel like, and I feel like I have a break. I feel like I'm getting so much reading done. I'm not filming enough videos, I'm not writing enough, but also I feel like it's okay if you're not doing things that you think you should be doing, because it's a weird time, so it's hard to be very creative. So if you're in the same boat as me, we're all right. It'll be okay. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you like this video down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!